Water scarcity, energy crisis, population growth, rapid urbanization. These are all issues that call for efficient, long-lasting solutions. Located in the middle of the Persian Gulf, between the Qatari Peninsula and the east coast of Saudi Arabia, the Barhein archipelago is faced with every one of these issues. Heavy withdrawals are made from its natural reserves, which are fast declining. It's the case for both oil and gas, its main fossil fuel resources, but also for water. The island is under permanent water stress. Add to that an arid climate with very high temperatures in summer, resulting in frequent water cut-offs. And yet, Barheин's urban areas are growing rapidly, and so is tourism. The island has to deal with a rising demand for water. Barhein is well aware of the risks for its future and has set to develop a comprehensive management model for its resources that is cost-effective and adapted to local conditions. The idea is to intertwine the production of energy from natural gas with the production of drinking water. The government of Barhein has been encouraging private operators to invest in this project since 2002. In January 2006, it turned to a consortium called HPC, with which it signed a 20-year contract for water and electricity supply. The contract includes the acquisition and joint operation by HPC of a power plant and a seawater desalination plant in Al-Hid on the island of Mubarak. It also plans for the upgrade of these facilities to triple their capacity in a record time of 22 months. Following an international call for tenders launched by HPC, SIDEM, a Veolia Water Solutions and Technologies subsidiary specialized in seawater desalination, was chosen to take up this challenge. SIDEM's assignment was to build a new, very large desalination plant that would offer extremely efficient performance. On top of that, the company had to meet a very tight schedule under which the plant would come into service in different stages. In fact, the first units were to be commissioned just 14 months after contract signature. To take up this technical and human challenge, more than 80 engineers worked together during the design phase, and 2,000 people were on site during the peak construction period. The seawater is withdrawn and filtered by a pumping station before being treated by the MED thermal desalination process. The plant is made up of 10 units that operate in parallel and are each capable of producing 27,300 cubic meters of drinking water per day. The system is therefore very flexible. The energy needed by the process is supplied by the power plant located right next door. The desalination plant recovers the low-pressure steam at the outlet of the power plant's turbines. In other words, the desalination plant is powered by low-grade byproduct energy that is recovered at the end of the electricity generation cycle and would otherwise be lost. This energy is then used to evaporate the seawater at low temperature. In addition, the desalination plant's performance is upgraded by a thermocompressor that enables part of the steam produced to be recycled. Taken as a whole, the system makes MED technology a very advantageous solution in terms of operating cost. The brine generated by the process is diluted, and then it is discharged into the sea at a temperature that's never more than 3 degrees centigrade higher than the temperature of the seawater. SIDEM is therefore in strict compliance with international discharge standards intended to protect the environment. Before being distributed to Barhein, the drinking water produced is remineralized in order to meet the World Health Organization's potability standards. Multiple effect distillation works by evaporating seawater and condensing the steam in a series of vacuum distillation cells. The aim of the process is to separate the salt from the seawater. Each cell is fitted with horizontal heat exchange tubes. Steam is introduced into the tubes of the first cell, while non-heated seawater is sprayed on top of the bundle and runs down the outside of the tubes. While cooling the tubes, the seawater causes the steam to condense into fresh water inside the tubes. At the same time, the seawater flowing outside the tubes partly evaporates. The new steam is then introduced inside the tubes of the next cell. This operation can be repeated several times, with each unit able to contain a series of 12 cells. At each stage, fresh water is collected at the exit of the bundles and brine is recovered at the bottom of the cells. The steam from the last cell is recycled in the first cell by means of the thermocompressor. It took SIDEM less than 2 years to build this plant, which is unique in terms of its capacity and its energy performance. SIDEM is now training the personnel of HPC on how to operate the plant, and will continue to do so for the next 2 years. The Barhein project has also established the reputation of the multiple effect distillation process, because it proves that MED, which was previously suited for small plants, can now be applied to very large flows. There is no doubt that the performance achieved in Barhein will lead to yet more major projects for SIDEM and will strengthen its position as the world leader in thermal desalination.